Hey guys, it's Roxanne from RoxanneLynch.com. Hey, how you doing, you guys? Okay, I had this big aha moment a couple days ago, and I've been wanting to share it. And sometimes you really have to formulate things in our brains to get ready to share those aha moments. And I think when it comes to the why of what we do, and this is a really big one for me, and I really wanted to share it with you. I'm excited to share this because why we do our businesses, why we do what we do, for some women can be really hard for us to formulate. It's really hard for us to put our why and why we do what we do to pen and paper. It's hard to sometimes to express to our friends and family, and especially coming into the season. So I thought this was like a perfect timing actually to share this big aha moment that I had, because I know more than likely whether you started a new business this year or you've been around it for a while, there's going to be friends and family, maybe even coworkers and colleagues that are asking you, why are you doing this thing? Why are you involved in network marketing? Or why do you have a home-based business? Because they just don't get, they don't understand or they don't get it. For me, when you're thinking about this, and all the experts say that we have to have a strong why. We have to have a why that can sustain us, during some trials and tribulations. We have to have a strong why and something, large that, has something that's going to motivate us, keep us persevering and not giving up, helps give us that little bit of extra focus, commitment, the stuff, la, 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 la. We've heard it, right? You know what I'm talking about. We heard all of this before, but I remember there being a time in my life a while ago, and I was being asked, like, why are you still doing what you're doing? And I actually kind of stumbled over my words because my why has changed. Drop a 3 in the comments. Has your why changed since the very first time you thought about signing your signature in an excited and enthusiasm way, getting started with your very first business? Has your why changed? So just drop a 3 in the comments if it's different from what it was then to what it is today. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I want you, first of all, to take a big breath, forgive yourself for feeling confused, and to know and allow ourselves growth and change. So as we grow, as life changes, as the world spins around on its axis, our whys and what we do and why we do stuff is going to change. Would you guys agree with that? So we're thinking about this, and we know all those things of what the experts say, why we need to have a why. And going through some of the things I know for myself, and you guys can definitely drop in the comments below, tell me some of the reasons why you began your very first business. Was it because you wanted to have a little bit more control of your financial direction? Did you want to maybe achieve a little bit of extra financial freedom, whether it was $50 a month or $100 a month, or just paying for your product? Were you looking for a little bit of extra money? Or do you actually want to take some control of your life, to be maybe your own boss? Maybe you have a boss that you think is a really sucky boss, and you think you could do a better job at being boss, so you want to be boss and take some control of your life. Maybe you're looking for something that's a little bit more flexible. Were you looking for something to spend more time with your loved ones? Maybe you're looking that you didn't have to commute so much. Tell me, drop one of the reasons why you first began your business below. And I know for me, sisterhood and community is very big on my list. That is one of the biggest reasons why years ago I began this business. Is I wanted more friendships, more connections, because the job that I had, even though it paid really great, the interactions and that sisterhood and that community, that tribe feeling just wasn't really there. And I absolutely needed to feel a part of something larger than myself. I needed to feel part of something that we were in an uplifted and empowering and inspiring community. Okay, but I want to give you, before I jump into these big aha moments, is that I definitely had to forgive myself, because a lot of my leaders had huge whys. Like they had this big why of wanting to have be able to serve children in a way that, that they were over here in North America and they wanted to, sponsor orphanages and, do those larger community and philanthropy works overseas toward India and Africa. And that's a pretty big why. So, and I'm looking at my little why, which was just to have more sisterhood and more community. And you know how we used to still compare ourselves? Sometimes you have that compare-itis. And I was beating myself up with my why, because, my why was, back then, was just enough to have community. It wasn't for big financial goals because I had a really great paying job. So I didn't feel connected with my why. And felt that was worthy enough. Can you guys understand that? That sometimes at the beginning we don't think our why is big enough compared to what we see other people having out there. So we have a tendency to beat ourselves up. Can you guys drop a 4 in the comments? Have you guys ever beat yourself up because you felt that what you were doing just wasn't meeting other people's expectations, including your why? But what I found was that there's two big things that happened that were side benefits to having a network marketing business and to definitely be in business for myself. And the first one is that I actually got to be able to grow my own person, to have some more influence, to become that go-to person for my niche market that I have, and a little bit of extra prestige, because even though, like I said, I had this really great, amazing paying job back in 2013 and 14 and part of 15 before I quit, but I wasn't getting any pat on the back. I wasn't getting any atta girl. I wasn't feeling that I had any influence. I didn't feel that I had any prestige, and I certainly wasn't the go-to person, except for to dump more stuff on my desk to do. So I didn't feel any sense of self-worth and self-confidence within my job. So that was the first tip that I wanted to share when I started really developing myself within this businesses. And the second was my confidence. As I grew myself and my skill sets, and my confidence began to bloom again, I become the woman that I forgot that I was. Okay, so that was a great spin-off of growing my business and developing my why. And I had to remember, I think it was, I don't know if it was Simon Sinek or not, but it's what we do is way more important than why we do it. And I was thinking about that. It's like, so the what is important too, because that contributes to the why. So I have four questions for you guys. If you are struggling with your why and you haven't really been able to hammer it out a little bit to really, so over the Christmas season coming up and sharing with your friends and family, if you're not able to freely express why you're doing what you're doing, and what you're doing, and why you're doing it, I think that is really, really important. So the questions you can ask yourself, and you can either, pause my video, catch it on the replay. But the first question is, we need to ask ourselves, what makes you come alive? What lights up your life? What gets that sparkler sparkling? What really, really, really makes you come alive? What is that? And, you're going to have to maybe break that down. You're going to want to take some more notes, because if we're thinking about this, because that's what we, alive means, as the Latin word says, is to breathe life into. So what makes you breathe bigger, smile more, okay? So that is the first one we can ask ourselves. The second question we can ask ourselves when it comes to developing our why, and like kind of unearthing it, because this is exciting. It takes some time to dig into this, but it is really empowering and very exciting. And I am so glad I've been doing this over my days and discovering that my why has changed. And it's okay. My why can change. I have grown. I'm not the same woman I was yesterday or last year. So it's okay to change, okay? Women, we're allowed to change our minds. Men too. So question number 2 we can ask ourselves is, what are your natural talents and strengths, okay? So what comes from the inside that you can very easily express on the outside that can make a difference, okay? So we're thinking about this. What do you do when you feel most productive? What are you doing when you're adding those greatest fulfillments? What are you doing, and what can you do where that's easy, okay? And it's always good to grow along your comfort zone, but what makes it easy, and what is your natural strengths and talents that you're able to share with other women and men out there within our industry and profession? Okay, so tip number 3, the question you can ask yourself is, where can you add your greatest value? I mean, and that's really capitalizing on what makes you feel good. What is your natural talents and strengths? And where can you add value? Like, what can you do that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to really spending some time developing those skills, those strengths, giving your expertise, giving your ideas, your sharing from the heart? Where can you add greatest value? You know, is that, you know, within which women, where, you know, which market niche and how? Think about those things. How are you going to add, you know, your greatest gifts to these people, you know, and where are they? So I think this was a really huge one for me, because I was thinking about the value that I can give, and that comes down to really digging into tip number 4, which is, how do you measure your life? So, you know, if you were to, you know, die tomorrow, what is your eulogy going to be like? What's going to be maybe written on your tombstone? How do you measure your life, and how do you want people to have understood what you're trying to deliver to them? What will you be remembered for? So how are you measuring that? I think that is really, really important, because to me, this was really big. It's like, what do you want to be remembered for? You know, and ultimately that kind of leaves us to what we do and why we do it. And, you know, I know it can seem really vague when I was thinking about this earlier, but my biggest why of what I do and why I do it is to impact other women, to make a difference. And I know that seems really simple, and I was beating myself up for a long time, beating myself up horribly, going, it's got to be more than that, Roxanne. It's got to be more than that. Everyone else has this, or someone else has that. And it's like, no, like really, I just keep on coming back to those 2 statements. I want to be able to impact other women and make a difference. Okay? And each day that evolves, you know, each day that unfolds before me, depending on the conversations that I have with my clients. It depends on the conversations that I have within my team, with my teammates and my network marketing company. That depends on the conversations I have with new women that I meet every day. How can I make a difference? How can I positively impact their lives? How can I add sunshine to them? How can I empower and uplift and encourage? And that is enough, okay? If that is what you're doing, and you've been beating yourself up because you think you have to have this pie in the sky, why? You don't, okay? Simple sometimes is better. I really want you guys to think about those questions, because we don't need to have a huge, massive why to be able to explain to our friends and family over the holiday season. Having a why of wanting to help other women is enough. Having that why of wanting to make a difference for ourselves, our family, you know, even if it's small things like, you know, taking your mom out for a treat like I did today. We went out to the market, and we went downtown. We wandered around the farmers market or Christmas market in town. And she just had a blast. It was just puttering and wandering around, and I had great fun taking pictures of other women in their booths so they can put it on Facebook and help them market the event. So, you know, I made a difference. You know, and I was able to give some positivity and some light, and that was enough. Okay, so I just want you guys to believe it in yourselves. I want you guys to understand that your why doesn't have to be something so massive and scary and sometimes feeling overwhelmed or unattainable. That it's the little things that you do every day that can have the biggest positive impact within your business and your life. Okay, I mean, it's the little things that matter, and especially coming into the Christmas season. and having that holiday spirit in our hearts all year long. If you guys got some value, definitely tag a friend that is maybe struggling right now in their belief. Maybe they're struggling with their why, not having that right focus or commitment, not being able to break through their comfort zone and move them forward to keep them sustained. Maybe they need a little bit of light and love in their heart. Go back and enjoy those 4 questions. Flesh them out, have some fun with them, because I know that it certainly was really helpful for me to spend several hours this week rehashing my why and releasing myself of not having this huge pie in the sky why. Sometimes the little things matter the very, very mostest, okay? So you guys have a fantastic evening. Catch the replay. If you enjoyed it, of course, tag a friend, share it forward, and drop me in the comments how did you start your business? Like, why did you begin this business in the first place? You know, as big or as small as it is, and all creatures in between. You guys take care. Good night, girls.